Now, example number 2 says the box and whisker plot below displays the number of visitors in millions to the state parks in each of the 50 states in 2000. Okay? Now, they've actually given us the box and whisker, and they're going to ask us to interpret it, to use this box and whisker to tell us something about visitors to state parks. Okay? Now, guys, how many states do we have, Charlie? I've got 50 states in the United States. That's true. Okay? Now, these numbers aren't the number of states. Okay? These numbers are the number of visitors in millions to the state parks in those states. Okay? So if I took all of the numbers, I'd have 50 numbers, and I'd have the number of visitors for each one of the states, and I would organize them from least to greatest, and I would use that data set to organize this box and whisker. Now, it says about how many states had fewer than 18.2 million visitors to their state parks. Now, guys, you're going to see that 18.2 million is the upper quartile. How many groups are, of the 4 groups, right, of the 4 quartiles, how many quartiles are below that number? How many? Read? 3, right? Okay, so 3 of the 4 quartiles are below 18.2 million visitors. That means that 3 out of 4 states are less than 18.2 million visitors. Well, how can I find out how many states that is? How do I do that, Troy? Not so much by 50. I could divide 50 by 4, right, to find out how many are in each quartile, and then multiply that by 3. Or I could just multiply 50 states by 3/4. What is 3/4 of 50? Okay? And if I do that, I'm going to get 150 over 4, and then when I do that division, I'm going to get 37.5. But in this case, I can't have half a state, right? So I'm going to round it up. I'm going to round it, and it's going to give me about 38 states have fewer than 18.2 million visitors. So really, only what, about 12 states have more visitors to its state parks than 18.2 million. I'm sure California has a lot. We have a lot of state parks, and we're a big state, so we'd probably fit in the upper 12. A place like Delaware, which is a tiny little state, may not have as many visitors, right? Okay. Now, B says West Virginia has 8.0 million visitors to its state parks. How does West Virginia compare with the rest of the states? Well, 8.0 is about right here, okay? So how would you say that it compares to the rest of the 50 states? What do you think, Edward, about?
1/4.
Do you think it's 1/4? Because the lower quartile is 4.6. 2/4 are about half. It's about in the middle. I would say that West Virginia is average. You know? And you can think about West Virginia. It's mostly a rural state. Probably has nice state parks. And it's about average size for a state, so it's probably going to have about the average number of visitors. Smaller states are probably going to be down here, like 0.7 might be Rhode Island or Connecticut. You know, some tiny little states, or Delaware, places that don't have a lot of land. Okay, so that's how we could use the box and whisker to interpret this information. Also, you can see that almost all of the states are below this 18.2. There's only a few that stretch out this far, but we do have some that go all the way up to 98.5 million. I don't have that information in front of me, but it may be California, or it may be Florida. It could be Texas. Big states with high population, probably. Okay? All right. Good job, guys.